As I give Sims probably the last amount of money they're gonna get from me, we have a lot to talk about. Welcome to my page. My name is Malik Childish. As of recently, I have been learning how to code and mod different games. I started on a Roblox game. I've done some Project Zomboid stuff. And I had the bright idea one day of it would be kind of cool if I made my own Sims mod. I forgot that I did do a shirt mod where you can upload your own images to shirts. It's one of the easiest things you can do in The Sims. I can't believe it got harder. If you guys are not familiar with The Sims has always had a huge modding community. And I guess I'm saying that wrong because it's not in the sense of mod creators. It's in the sense of people who want to play mods. Base Mental has hundreds of thousands of downloads. Wicked Whims, I don't play that one, has hundreds and thousands of downloads, but there are only a few. And at the time, I didn't realize why. I was like, I want to step in the ring and see how good I can do. So my mission was I want to create a career. There's a lot of elements to a career, more than I thought there would be. Maybe that's a good starting point before I start getting into modding objects and creating my own original scripts, and I had no clue what the heck I was talking about. Subscribe. Sims is not friendly to modders. There's no tools, there's no booklets. They don't even have YouTube videos on their official pages on how to properly mod. EA is not coming out like, hey modders, and change is coming up. No, they're just dropping it. They're not telling you which part you have to fix. They're not telling you what is changing. You just have to figure it out because you are modifying their game. Chill for a little bit. Let's create a Sims 4 career mod and drop a subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into it. So first thing, I had to download what's called the Sims 4 mod constructor. Another sign of it's just not easy to build these codes from scratch. Shout out to Zerbu for making a mod tool. There's not a lot of games out there that has mod tools, but basically you put in a few things and the mod creates a file that has all of the scripts and coding that you would need. It would take you hours upon hours upon hours learning what needs to be done to do simple things like a career title, like a career description. Should it be bolded? Do you need to space everything? Does it need a new paragraph code? So the Sims 4 mod constructor is very simple as far as just adding a new element, and then you type in everything you need from the name, description, the icon, the images. I just put in a few placeholders as we continue down this route, but this was interesting because it had every detail that you could think of if you wanted to only allow it to teens, young adults. So I am starting with the Childish Basketball League. I think this will be a mod we continue to pull on through all of our different projects, and it's just starting out in the Sims world universe, but we'll take this and continue to build on it in other games and mods. But for now, I put in a description. I really didn't like this description, but it was just a placeholder for now. So once you do that, you have to put out each career level one by one. And make sure they're identified uniquely because you will not be able to know which career is which if you do not identify them correctly, even to the sense it could overwrite and mess up other careers you might be working on, other mods you might have. Everything has to be unique. So this part was as tedious as it gets because I have to put in how many days, how many hours, each description, each name for each individual job. Basically how a sports career usually works out. You start out at the bottom as some sort of rookie, then you work your way up to a superstar. So in my mind, I'm already thinking through, okay, we have rookie, bench warmer, role player, starter. As you see, I'm just building up the levels the higher you get. Once again, each of those has their own names, descriptions, how much they get paid per hour. For this one, purposely, you get paid more the higher you get in the career. That will make more sense the further we get in this video. So one thing I've always loved about Sims careers is what's called branches. So that's once you make it through level 5, level 6, okay, you're a cop. Would you like to be a detective or would you like to be more on foot patrol? I don't know. Like, they just have different options for what you want to do in that career path. So in basketball and in sports, that's very similar. In basketball, you could be more of a scorer, you could be more of a defender, or you could be more of a playmaker. So that was the first 3 things that I'm like, oh, that's easy. That's usually how it goes in basketball careers. This is something I threw into the Discord, is if this is your first career mod, I do not recommend branches, because in each branch, you have to create another 3 or 4 levels. In this instance, I do have a branch further than this one that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but this almost felt like I was doing way too much. But hey, I mean, this is me. I always want to level up a mod more than just putting the basics in it. So before I got too far, I'm like, okay, let's slow down a second. This so far has been about 3 or 4 hours of work. So let's throw it into Sims and make sure all of the settings and things that we put in are coming across correctly. So what I did in my mods folder in the Sims, I basically created my own folder. I did CBL mod and I put in the package and the script. Both things that the mod constructor spit out. Load up Sims, I hit join career. Through the careers, there it is, boom. Childish Basketball League. It has the description, the photo that I put in there, just a random photo. Everything is basically correct. I had another mod that helped me be able to promote myself super fast, so I just went ahead and did that. That way I was able to see if the promotions work correctly. This will be very important because I don't know if you know, but when you get promoted in the Sims, you get rewards, money, you get objects sometimes. So you have to test every single promotion because you have to make sure it identifies the money you want correctly, the object you want correctly. After you've made it through your playmaking, your scoring, your defender, you get another branch you get to decide on. You either get to decide if you want to go down the retirement route or the coaching route. Once again, this is usually how it goes in sports. You can't be the best player in the league your entire life. Sometimes your career goes down or you choose to go a different route. Once you reach this branch, your pay will go down. This is thinking in the fact of your sim is getting older, they've been in the league for a while, they're famous, they're rich. Now it's time to decide on what you're gonna do next. The retirement route is kind of like you are still a player in the league, just not as highly paid. You're kind of just in the league until it's time for you to hang it up. While the coaching one is kind of a longer branch that you can go down of becoming a head coach in the Childish Basketball League. So I had to create a separate branch of retirement and coaching for each of the playmaking, defender, and scoring one, which, like I said, if this is your first time making a career, do not do that. Like I spent so much time literally duplicating everything I had to do. And this is a mod tool. This isn't like a Word document or something that's had years of development. There is no copy and paste. Like I had to put things on a notepad so I could easily paste it in. And it was a mission. If you are a scorer and you've decided to go the coaching route, you are now a scoring minded coach. If you're a defender, you went down the retirement route. Now you're one of the veteran defenders in the league. To get promoted, usually there is what is called an objective. Completing these objectives increases your chances and odds of getting promoted, getting that meter higher to when the next time you go to work or get off, you're promoted. This is how it's said and done in The Sims. Copy that. And if it doesn't match that, the game will not recognize it. You have to match everything as far as this is what The Sims knows when you're going to the gym. This is what The Sims says when you level up your workout skill. Like the rookie prospect, we have get in the gym and work on that jump shot. Just buy a basketball rim and I'm shooting around on it to try to get that fitness level 2. In that as well, I set up a practice basketball interaction. So this is supposed to line up with, if you're using the basketball rim object, you should be able to level up this objective or complete this objective. Once again, it took a ton of testing because the game has only one instance of basketball interaction. So once I was able to identify which one was the basketball interaction, it was pretty easy to then set that up. So as you can see, we got improve your fitness. That one works. I'm still shooting around. I'm like, I don't know if the practice basketball one is working. That's when I found out there's a difference between interactions based off of time And there's a difference between interactions based off of completion. So I was working based on completion, which was not a thing. You can just keep shooting on a basketball rim for however long you want. So I had to base it off of time. So once I made that adjustment, we were good to go. I always love that when you're checking your household inventory and you see items in there, you're like, how did I get that? And you're like, oh, I completed this, or I got promoted and got this. So a lot of the items are connected with a basketball type career. So for this one, I wanted the jersey. So I went ahead and went into Sims 4 Studio. If you guys are not familiar with Sims 4 Studio, Sims 4 Studio is basically all the objects in Sims that it knows, and it helps you pull those objects out, do what you want to it, re-upload it into the game, and it gives you specific codes and what things need to be used for it and all that good stuff. So Sims 4 Studio is really your way of just a quick way to grab objects that, once again, the Sims already made. Zerbu actually has a Discord that was extremely helpful. Shout out to Errant Red, trying to figure out like, what do I need? And I followed what they said word for word. I don't even know if it was my problem or I just missed something, and even in the notification, it shows what you got when you got promoted. So we're able to see athlete's trophy case, we're able to see the amount of money he was given. So I know that it is working, even to the point I went into the household inventory, was able to find the jersey, and I was able to put that up on the wall with the trophy cabinet as well. So everything is working pretty good right now. Past that, it was just copying and pasting, copy and pasting. Because what did I say? We have 3 branches you can go down, and each of those branches is about 4 careers. So you have 4 careers for each branch. Then you make it to either retirement or coaching that has 3 to 4 in each of those. So it's almost, we're sitting around 12 to 13 careers each. Do not make a career. This is the worst thing ever. And that goes to what I was saying, where modding The Sims is just not user friendly right now. Everything I had to do, I had to look up some YouTube video, I had to look up some information on some random forum. Like, nothing is straightforward about modding this game. So as I'm pushing through this, I wanted to give a shout out to Sarah. Sarah has a YouTube where she's put up a lot of tutorials. This game changes frequently. This game is not easy to mod, and I give Sarah a ton of credit for even attempting it, because she was the only one I could find. I looked for hours, literally hours, in between this, in between me doing other things, how to make a career. How to make a career in Sims 4, how to add custom promotion items, how to add, there was nothing. About half of my knowledge is from her YouTube video, so I had to shout her out. This moment, I'm not gonna lie, felt good. Once again, I think at this point, we've probably hit about 10 hours. I was clicking through here, and there was just so many things I just didn't understand, and I'm at 10 hours so far. I do not have the patience to test this all over again, because the career is a separate part. The aspirations and traits would be completely separate parts. It would almost be like starting a whole nother modding project. Before I put it into The Sims, I did want to make a jersey, and I thought it would have been very funny. So there's already a basketball jersey that's a part of the city expansion, I believe. I dropped this into Affinity 2 if you guys are not hip. I'm currently leaving Adobe, so this is something I found that works just as good as Photoshop. Pull the image off of any shirt or clothing item you're trying to customize. I have a whole video of me doing it if you want to check it out. Want the aesthetic to look like we just drew over these jerseys and put our logo on them. Like, these will do. Let's color in our icon on it. So that was the whole aesthetic. And while I had Affinity open, I was like, I might as well make the icons. Once again, you can make an icon for each branch. So I had defense, offense, playmaking. So I was like, let's just use that basketball logo I already thought of and kind of finesse some things that we can put over the top of it. So once again, I made 3, and then I made the ones for retirement and coaching. So those all have their exclusive icons that are on the career. Downloaded a bunch of like basketball animations. I set up a court outside to give it that like urban effect. These are the first 3 players of the CBL. These are the first superstars that we've known of taking photos in the first release of the CBL. The logo, I gave it like a little like paper material over it. Those individual photos will now be a part of those branch ones. So when you're clicking on Playmaker or Defender, it will show what a defender looks like. Feels like a mod now. Like, it feels like something you have found from a mod creator to use in your game. No, I'm not the first person to make a basketball career. It was just something that I particularly am interested in and I enjoy. So once again, I will be keeping this mod alive. I'll keep the CBL alive as long as we are here. So the Childish Basketball League is ingrained in us now. We're gonna keep it alive as long as we can. Make sure all of the objectives are working correctly. They were not. Make sure all the promotion rewards were working correctly. They were not. Make sure I don't have any typos or the name spelled weird. It's in the right order. There was so many small things I had to do once again because we had over 20 different careers, so there was bound to be errors. I get to the very end of making this mod and I accidentally move one of the branches into another branch. So now it says defensive, retirement, court, scoring. There was no copy and paste button, like I said. There's no duplicate button. That was it. That was the cherry on top of I am done. I am done making this mod. I couldn't get aspirations to work. I couldn't get traits to work. I couldn't even get random events for the career to work. The next series we will be doing is getting to the top of this career. Please come back, subscribe. We are going to have some fun. I haven't played Sims in a while. We just got the For Rent expansion as well. So, hey, if you enjoy modding content, art content, and the occasional gaming that we do here, hey man, drop that subscribe. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you watching up to this point. It's Malik Childish. I hope to see you again soon. I am gone. Two, 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 two.